Guys, Godzilla back again. We're gonna do a tier list of all the family members in my personal opinion. This isn't like a list that's like factually correct. Everyone can like rearrange how they feel about these characters. Um yeah. I will do a tier list on all the movies soon, but for now, we're doing all the family members from the remakes to the yeah, from the OG series to the remake. Yeah, to the game too. So stay tuned for how I feel about the characters in the game. Alright, so we're kicking this list off with Alfredo Sawyer. He appears in Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. He's like, he gives off the, hitchhiker chop top vibes off the rip. You can obviously tell he's off his whacker. He's a creep, your stereotypical creep. He likes to watch girls do their thing. Really not that much else to him. What would I rank him? How he did in the movie? I would have to give him a C. He's all right, but nowhere near the goats. All right. Little girl Sawyer. She also appeared in Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. A little girl growing up in this environment, or a little kid in general growing up in the environment, is an interesting concept. But was it executed well? No. I don't know. I feel they did way better with that little boy in the remake. We'll get to him in a bit. But I can't give the little girl any higher than a D. She just wasn't executed properly in my opinion. And yeah. Sheriff Hoyt. Ooh. Sheriff Hoyt, to me, I'm just immediately going to put him in S tier. He is one of the GOATs because in terms of the remake, he was one of the family members that really carried those two movies, the remake and the remake prequel. He carried those two movies, in my personal opinion. He was great. He gives off Cook vibes while adding something of his own. I love it. I just love it. He's a great successor to Cook, to Drayton. He's just perfect. Yeah. He plays the cop so he can get victims, put them in the cop car. You know how he is. And yeah. Moving on to Chop Top Sawyer. Guys, come on now. What are we doing? Chop Top is literally one of the GOATs. Let's be honest here, y'all. In terms of being hilarious, creepy, and having a presence, Chop Top checks off all three. He does. He truly, truly does. He is Hitchhiker's twin brother. We'll get to Hitchhiker later. But Chop Top Sawyer, he's one of the GOATs. He's with the plate in his head and just the funny, wacky shit he says. It's just he's one of the best parts of that film, even though Leatherface was kind of mid. But that's a whole different story. That's just Leatherface in one movie, but moving on to Drayton Sawyer, the cook. Obviously, S tier. Cook is S tier. If you say otherwise, then in terms of memorable, iconic lines from the series, who is the first person that comes to your head? Drayton Sawyer. Look what your brother did to the door. I don't take much pleasure in killing. You know, iconic lines like that in the delivery by Jim Sedow. Oh, rest in peace to the goat. He was amazing in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1 and 2 as Cook. Um yeah. Moving on to Heather from the 2013 reboot. Yeah, it's a reboot. Yeah. Obviously off the rip, there's already a lot of stuff wrong with this character. This character is in the script written like a 20 something when her character should truly be almost 40. But, you know, putting that aside, the like it's not nothing wrong with the actor Alexandra Daddario. She did what her best with what she was given. It's just a bad fucking script. It's just bad. It doesn't matter how good of an actor you are if you're given a bad script. You can only do so much. But in terms of the character, I can't give it any less than a D. Moving on. Darla Slaughter from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4: The Next Generation. She is Vilmer's girlfriend. She pretty much plays the role of the cook, just the not normal, somewhat normal, but still off her whacker person. Um, she's wacky and pretty good. I mean, is she one of the bright spots of the movie? Eh. I mean, she's all right. I can't give her any higher than a C. C. Grandpa Sawyer. Man that doesn't say words at all, but man does he have a presence when he's on screen. Grandpa Sawyer is S. He's just one of the goats. Even though but his actions are just so wacky and just like what the fuck. But for what he does do, sucking the blood off of Sally in the first movie, him being a corpse in 3, and just his presence alone, he is the highlight of the family other than Leatherface. Yeah. Moving on to is that grandma? She doesn't really do anything, so you can't really rank her. Just gonna give that an F because there's not really a character in the movie that does stuff. But yeah. Moving on. This is from the remake, Loretta Hewitt. I almost said Sawyer. She barely has screen time in the 2003 remake. With the screen time she has, she's the one that's like pretty much the mother of the babies they stole. But there's nothing really else to her about just other than being creepy. So C is where she's gonna have to go. Nubbins the Hitchhiker. Nubbins Sawyer. Nubbins Sawyer. Now, this is going to be a controversial decision I'm about to make. Nubbins the Hitchhiker is A tier. Don't get me wrong, his character is amazing. He's just a wacky dude. A tier is still good. I still think he's one of the GOATs, to be honest with you. But he's just not on the level of a Sheriff Hoy, a Chop Top, a Drayton Sawyer, or a Grandpa. He's just not on their level in terms of I don't know how to explain it, but he is still very, very good. All right, moving on to the little boy from the 2003 remake. So he gives off bad vibes from the start, like he's from a broken family. But what makes him way better than the little girl Sawyer from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3? Um, he actually has somewhat of a character to him when he wants to help people escape. And for me, that made him like, hey, this guy's pretty decent. So I'm actually going to give the little boy from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003 remake a B. And now. And now we're moving on to some of the games. We got Jonathan Sawyer. He's in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the game. Um, he's almost as tall as Leatherface, which he has presence. There's a presence to him. His vibe, his creepy demeanor, his intentions, everything. Um, he is. I'd say he's a really good character. Um, is he slightly ripping off Vilmer in my personal opinion, just a little bit? But other than that, I gotta give him an A tier. He's A tier for me. Um, yeah, Leatherface Bubba Sawyer. Come on, guys. Is this really even a debate? Oh wait, hold up. Oh, oh, is this even a debate, y'all? S tier. He's one of the goats. He's literally the fucking face of the franchise. He's the only family member to appear in every Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Um, yeah. Um, I don't really think I need much explaining why Leatherface Bubba Sawyer is S tier, but just because I love the character, I'll explain it. Leatherface, he's a complicated character. He's more complicated than a Michael Myers or a Jason Voorhees. There's more to him than just being a really tall brute. There's way more to him. He he's bullied by his family. He's bullied into doing stuff that I mean, if he wants to do it, he's bullied, of course, but the way he's like scared and confused, and of course how he's horny in part two, there's a lot of characteristics to him, even though Mans doesn't speak, and that's what I love so much about the character. He has so much character, and he doesn't even speak. That's what I love about it. It it's just um. We're gonna be also ranking remake Leatherface because this is OG Leather, and we're gonna do remake Leather. But yeah, but OG Leather boy, he S tier. He the goat. He one of the goats. Moving on to Mama Sawyer from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Um, um, she, I mean, like, it's like her character is good. I like the voice box. I like pretty much her character, but there's just one little issue. If you like write her out of the script, the movie doesn't really necessarily change at all, and that's really unfortunate. So for that, I'm gonna have to put Mama Sawyer in C tier. Um, Next we got Sheriff Hoyt's mother. Mother. She doesn't really do anything. She's just mostly on Sheriff Hoyt about killing the cop and all that. Um, but there's nothing I can really do but put her in C. Old Monty Boy. Ooh, Old Monty Boy. Um, he's a paraplegic. Leatherface chopped his legs off. I like his character. I like this whole get off my fucking lawn energy to him. He's definitely I'd say he's definitely a really decent character. Um, Definitely B tier. I definitely would give Old Monty a B tier. Nancy. Johnny Sawyer's mother. His mother. Um, she pretty much made Johnny into the monster that he is. So all monsters have their creators, and that's a fact. Um, but as a character in the game, I like her character. Um, her ability can be really mid at certain points. If it's with comms, then yeah, I'd say it's pretty much an S tier. But without comms, blah. I'll give Nancy C. I'll give Nancy C. Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003, where his actual name is Tommy Hewitt. That's what they mostly call him in that movie. Thomas Hewitt. I mean, he is brutal. I mean, in the 2 films he's in, he is brutal. Brutal. But does he measure up to OG Leatherface? Unfortunately not. But I'd still say he's a pretty solid Leatherface. I'm going to give him A tier. Sissy Sawyer. I don't really know quite what to say. Like, she's a support character at best. She barely does any damage, even when you max it out. Her poison is pretty useful to slow them down so the big brutes can get them. I can't put Sissy any higher than a B. Tex Sawyer from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. He's pretty much like the mixture of Johnny and Vilmer to a point. He's the one that comes off the most normal, but then off his whacker the next minute. I'd say he's a pretty decent character. I'm gonna give him a B. He's pretty good. He's pretty decent. Tex Sawyer. To me, there's something here. I like how he's downright brutal to his victims and sympathetic towards his family. He's pretty much just like Tex. He's just a B. It's pretty good. Moving on to Verna Carson Sawyer. She is Leatherface's mom in the 2013 and 2017 movie Well, she was only in the 2013 movie. I think she's briefly in the. Is she in the 2013? I don't remember if she was in the 2013. But her character is not bad. It's just like, I don't know. She's the leader of all these nutheads. It's just like that. I don't know. And Leatherface was just kind of just wacky in that movie. And I don't mean wacky in like the way Leatherface is supposed to be wacky. I mean wacky in like, this is even Leatherface at this point, bruv. But she's pretty decent. I can't give her any higher than a B, to be honest. The Tea Lady from the 2003 remake, and she had a cameo in the 2006 one too. She doesn't really add anything other than like, the tea and like drugging the victims or whatever. She's middle of the road, pretty much. She's getting C tier. W.E. Slaughter from Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. Now, he is like, there's nothing wrong with his character. He just is so forgettable because Matthew McConaughey is literally off his fucking whacker in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and we're getting to him in a second. But he's just so forgetful in this movie. But I think his character's decent. I'd give him a B. I'd give him a B. Wilmer Slaughter, played by Matthew McConaughey, which is probably one of the most wackiest performances of all mankind. It's definitely the second Chop Top of the series. He's definitely, in terms of wacky performances, he's there with Chop Top. This man is off his whacker, and he carries Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation, and you can't tell me otherwise. He is definitely one of the GOATs. He is S tier to me. In an otherwise bad movie, people just don't like it because it was mostly a bad movie. But I see beyond that. I see that this character is one of the best. If you put him in a better Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, people would praise the hell out of him. You put him in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, he'll get the Chop Top treatment. He'll get praised beyond belief. You put him in 2003 with Hoyt and Tommy, he'll get praised. Yeah. Wilmer Slaughter is one of the GOATs. Controversial? Maybe. But this is my tier list. In my personal opinion, this is my S, my A, my B, my C, my D, my F. Yeah. Yeah, that's my tier list, y'all. I'll be ranking the movies soon enough. But for now, peace out, y'all.